quickly and talk about something else that's coming up, perhaps in 3 months. Something interesting that came out of the president's trip to the United States. We first saw U.S. President Biden thanking and acknowledging Kenya for agreeing to send what is called a multinational security force to Haiti. It's a Caribbean nation, and from our Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary, we heard quite a few statements this week. So, Sam, we're sending police to Haiti. There's been some serious gang violence over the last couple of years, a current wave of brutality, specifically after July, when the president was assassinated, and now Kenya going in to help with the funding of the United States, and we're told by January. So, have we seen police being deployed? I know we have deployed members of the military to other countries, but police, that would be a first.
Not really, by the way. We've deployed to Darfur.
Police?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there was a police element in South Sudan. In peacekeeping operations, sometimes there is that police element where you provide them for training. And I remember visiting Darfur to cover a story, and it was really nice to see Kenyan police officers together with South African police officers who are conducting training
Okay.
So for those trainings, actually, UN sometimes deploys police, not military officers alone.
Okay, and now that they're going into, is it to train police in Haiti, at least from what we've heard with this one, Sam?
I think what I had the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs say is that the officers from Kenya that will be traveling will also be part of some training, pre-training, so that before they can now get to carry out the mission, they have at least a bit of understanding probably of what to be wary about, because when you look at the violence that is going on there, I mean, it's serious. We're reading more than 2,700 people at months, which is pretty high. I don't think we've dealt with such kind of violence to that magnitude in this country. 2,700 is close to how many people that lost their lives on road carnage in a similar period. And so for police officers to be going there, I think the government owes Kenyans information, because yes, Kenya wants to position itself in how the international community looks at it. And I saw the president of the US hailing the president of Kenya of that extension of assistance, because really they would use that help. But in as far as the terms of reference, I know these are operational issues that will be communicated to the police, but I think the Kenyan public really deserves to be informed. Even when you say that it's 1,000 police officers, from what cadres, from what do you call them, from what forces within the National Police Service that will be going there, and how should they be expecting, knowing that it's not always smooth when it comes to such kind of operation?
Yvonne, I think it's important also to note, I was reading an article in one of the local dailies about this, and it said that other than Kenya, you have other countries contributing to the mission, including a Caribbean nation of Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, and Jamaica. But when you look at it from another angle, what exactly is broken in Haiti that Kenya and all these other countries are going to fix? And it's different, because unlike other countries where we've sent peacekeeping forces like Somalia, DRC, South Sudan, or Mozambique, in Haiti there's no rebel group fighting to take power. In fact, Gituk was giving some of the statistics. More than 2,000 Haitians have been murdered in the first half of this year by violent criminals. In fact, kidnapping is big business in that country. In the first half of this year, there were at least 1,000 kidnappings. Snipers shoot and kill at will civilians walking on the streets. You have gangs which are roaming neighborhoods. You have IDPs, internally displaced people, camps in Haiti, not because people are fleeing war, but they're fleeing gangs. The violence has shut down many schools. Other than that, they have had natural disasters from earthquakes and flood and disease, and it's estimated about 60,000 people have been struck by cholera in the country of 11 million. And they're still recovering from the 2010 earthquake, where and it's nearly half of Haitians are going hungry. So it's a situation that I don't think any of our forces that have been sent anywhere have actually really faced in terms of what exactly they're going to deal with. And as Gituku says, I think it's important that more information is given out about exactly what they're walking into, what is the situation in Haiti, what kind of training will they be given, what exactly are they going to be doing there, because the situation and the reports and what we know and hear about Haiti is really almost horrific.
With respect to the security situation, the UN Secretary General has called for or believes that what would help to disarm the gangs and restore order is a, quote, robust use of force. With respect to the humanitarian situation that you have described, Jamila, he calls it a living nightmare. So these are some of the issues that they will be going in to do. Apparently, we are going to be, the intervention of our police officers will be to neutralize the armed gangs, to protect civilians, and then, of course, after that, restore peace, security, and order in that country. And the Foreign Affairs CS also talked about, helping rebuild vital infrastructure, as well as establish a stable democratic government. So that's quite a tall order. But, Linus, you'd mentioned the fact that where we've seen police being deployed, for instance, in Darfur, it's under the UN. Is that the process that undergoes that? Is that the usual process? And if it is, we have yet to, get the UN Security Council go ahead. Is that?
And here is
that
hoping,
how that works?
Absolutely. And here is hoping that, as a country, we really have to have a UN resolution that then allows us to deploy our people there. Because Haiti is a very difficult landscape. The descriptions we're giving here and the descriptions coming out of that place, of a country and the capital, for example, Port-au-Prince is controlled, I think 60 to 80% is controlled by armed gangs. And, there are boundaries there. You cross one area to another, it belongs to another gang and things like that. I dare say it's nothing that our National Police Service has ever dealt with. You can't compare it with the war on terror that we have here, because, look, Al-Shabaab is a hit-and-run team. We don't have a place where...
the capital.
There's no enclave that they control. So they plant IEDs and all that. But here in Port-au-Prince, you have areas that are actually controlled by armed gangs. You have institutions that basically have collapsed. I saw a description somewhere of the police service there being an enabler of the gangs, helping gangs with armored vehicles and even tear gas canisters and things like that. It's not a nice place. And then when you look at the political environment again, these are things that we need to also reflect on what we shall find there as an intervention force, because you have a Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, who is not elected. Remember, he came to office after the assassination of the president. The president of Haiti was actually killed in his house by armed gangs. These are some things that we should find unimaginable in our own context here. The president was killed way back in 2021. And so Ariel Henry has been acting more as an interim kind of leader of government. He's unelected. He's also fairly unpopular, as you would expect of a divided country like that. I mean, he's not running a system that is holding the country together. So we're going to find a very complex situation. And then there are basics as well, like this is a French-speaking country. So
Matua said they will be trained in French between now and January before they're deployed?
Learning a language takes longer than some of those drills that they do in security services. I don't think you can actually learn effectively for 3 months and be fluent to engage in a foreign country. We need to actually list that as a challenge. We need to acknowledge that it's going to be a challenge. You know, we have a deployment mission of KDF in DRC, which has fewer problems than what the team to Haiti will face. Because Eastern Congo, at least, they speak Kiswahili, so they were in our neighborhood. So some of those basic things like language out of the way. And of course, not finding any structure in place, that should be really the worrying situation. Because are we getting the full brief on whether there is actually an existing state? Because an argument has been professed that there isn't a state in Haiti. What you have is someone who acts as prime minister, and then you have so many gangs. You have police officers trying to protect the shaky state. So very, very ugly. And finally, the point about the possible hostility, because Haiti is the first black independent country created out of a slaves' rebellion. They don't like what they consider occupation. There have been a number of interventions that have been done over the years. The US was there between 1994 and 2004. America, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Before that, there were other interventions. There was a peacekeeping force led by Brazilians. It also didn't work. So there's a whole history that is actually looking so difficult that we just hope that the CS Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mutua, is right when he says that the Haiti people are saying, oh, Kenyans, come help us. We hope that is the bottom line.
Indeed.
But how did you know that?
Sorry?
Public participation.
I'm just wondering how we know that. I mean,
how we know that the Haitians are asking for our help.
Yeah.
Well, the CS said that yesterday in the press conference. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yes.
That Haiti is saying, come. And some of his arguments actually that the deployment will raise the profile
of Kenya.
Of Kenya. That's not what peacekeeping missions do. It's not about profile. It's not about prestige. Even though our military, that's KDF, Kenya Defense Forces, have over the years really raised the profile of the country because of the previous missions that they have participated in to a number of places, including Namibia, Sudan, East Timor.
Yes.
KDF made a very good name as part of the United Nations peacekeeping force. But I just fear that Haiti is not Namibia, it's not East Timor, it's not Sudan, it's just Haiti.
January is the date. We shall wait to see what happens, and definitely hope, if we do go through with this, that our police officers who end up being deployed, if we do, come back safe and sound. It would be a pity to send our Kenyans out into very hostile territory, only for them to come back in, I don't want to say it. All right, so that means it's time to end the show. I will do this job today because the person that finishes is Jamila. So tumalize hii kitu na